This video will reveal my scenic art secrets in detailing I do with my models. It's a really simple process to master. I will show you every step of the way, explaining my method without the use of something I prepared earlier. This technique is quick and really brings models to life. It can turn a $2 toy model into something which looks like it's worth $20. It does also cover a very common question that I am asked about my model work. Before we get into the details, let's throw up that warning. Many years ago I used a $2 model crane in an impressive opening scene of a video. Parts of this model were also used as dressing. This crane was originally bright orange. Painted using scenic artist techniques, it became a feast for the eyes. 10 years have passed until finding the same crane in a $15 construction worksite toy. In this amazing collection of China's best plastic crap is the Mad Bomber coal crane. This will be perfect to demonstrate the processes required to make this model come alive. This painting process requires these components: methylated spirits, flake shellac, grey primer, acrylic black, and a water spritzing bottle. Now let's have a quick and very important lesson on the powers of shellac. It's an amazing natural resin secreted by the female lac bug. Soluble in alcohol, it will be the key component used to create an effect. To demonstrate a 30% mix, I have roughly 1/3 shellac, and I will add methylated spirits to bring it up to 100%. With some careful stirring, the flake shellac will dissolve after a period of time, leaving a golden tan liquid. I tend to use various concentrations of shellac. Let's see what effect these different concentrations create. Let's look at a 30% mix on grey, which is allowed to air dry. This tends to leave a shiny film and darkens the original grey. Okay, here's a neat trick. Apply your shellac again to the grey panel. Now let's spritz it with some water, and let's let it dry. It leaves a rusty textured effect. Now here's our comparisons. You can see how different each panel looks compared to the original, especially the water spritz one. This is a really easy effect to master. Now we're looking at various panels painted with different concentrations of shellac. You can clearly see how the effect is greatest at the highest shellac concentrations. I tend to use low concentrations and layer up an effect. I feel using 10% works well with small scale models. In this split panel you can see on the right how glossy a film of shellac is compared to shellac affected by water. By using a low concentration black wash, and again painting our panel with 30% shellac, you can add colour to your effect. The black wash dramatically reduces the chalky look of the water spritz shellac. I'm only touching on the basics here. Hopefully you can see how easy it is to have a variety of finishes by manipulating the variables of concentration, water and colour. For my first example, I'll give this clean model a look which would suit a coal mine environment. Let's texture in some easy detail wherever possible, and without any tricks or pre-prepared models, witness how simple it is to transform this model to look like it's the real thing. I'm using a 30% shellac and black wash in this example. The black wash I'm using is approximately 10% acrylic paint mixed with water, and allow this to dry to see the effect. With very little effort, the bright orange model looks like it's been hard at work shoveling coal, and sure, this is a dramatic example of the effect. Next I will recreate the Mad Bomber coal crane. The original coal crane was part of the main prize in a competition I ran during 2009. It's no longer in my possession. For the low cost of this model, there's some fantastic detail here. I will remove the decals and any obvious plastic flashing from all the components. Now it's time for the paint shop. The whole model is now painted in primer grey. It's really important to be thorough at this step. Now painted and assembled, you can see how even a coat of grey brings out the rivet details. For this crane, I will use a 10% shellac mix, making sure every part of the crane is covered thoroughly. I will now spritz this with water and then go in and apply shellac all over the model again, finishing with another spritz of water. In a short time the shellac dries, leaving a crusty, rusty looking crane. It looks good like this, but I feel we need a darker look. So let's apply our 10% shellac again. This is now our third layer of shellac. You can see how the shellac dissolves into the previous finish. This is a characteristic of shellac. As dramatic as this looks, a black acrylic spritz is applied. Now we're going to add our fourth layer of shellac onto the model, always making sure all the areas are thoroughly covered. Again, a spritz of black is added. We're into the home run, and the final fifth layer of shellac will finish the job. Let's see how this ends up after it is dried. Within 5 minutes I've been able to explain to you a fantastic process used by scenic artists. The toy crane now looks like a $1 million crane ready for work. Best part about this process, it does not involve any fine fiddly work. It's fast and easy to apply. By adding methylated spirits, the effect is reversible. Remember, shellac dissolves in alcohol. Not everyone will detail a crane. I'm pretty sure sci-fi models can be transformed as well. This rocket ship is from a Matchbox toy. There's lots of plastic detail which can be enhanced. I want this model to look like it's been through re-entry. One trick here is applying the shellac in only one direction, creating a streaking effect. I will also want the underside to look like it's heat affected and the rocket area to look burnt. The little buggy will be given a dust covered look as well. Now transformed by 10% shellac and grey paint, these models really look interesting. The spaceship now has all the signs of re-entry burns. All up, there's 4 coatings of 10% shellac used, with a 10% grey wash spritzed over the model. The underside is left spritzed with the grey wash, while the top side is left with the shellac dried look. This model displays both styles of drying effect. The engine area looks crusty and burnt. Flake shellac can be purchased from any good art supplies shop. I will have links related to shellac in the sidebar. I highly recommend you read up on these, as it's an amazing natural resin to know about. Hey, thanks for your time. I hope I've taken the devil out of the detail. Here's a sneak peek into an upcoming video story which has many links to my current videos. Black Book was a disgruntled consumer story with an explosive ending. It was the first miniature explosion I'd done in the video, and certainly paved the way to the method used in Mad Bomber. This video will also reveal most of my videos have a sinister link within them.